Welcome to Law Symptoms. My name is Nipun Mittal. I am a fourth year law student of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, Delhi, and currently I am interning at Law Symptoms. And now we are going to discuss on the topic provisions of IPC that deals with cybercrime. Introduction. The advent of the computer is one of such remarkable innovations because it has determined living culture of today's human. The individual from every age group and the organizations functioning in any kind of industries have become users of computer. Rather than giving a narrow definition to the term computer, Section 2 Clause 1 of the IT Act 2000 was drafted in such a manner to include all kind of processing devices, computers, network, storage, and software. It includes mobile, smart devices, cameras, e-readers, etc. The technology has become the soul and essence of many activities happening in the world through the invention of the computer. Has numerous benefits like data storage, transfer of information, and effectively contributed to make human life easier. There are negative phase involved with the same devices which affect life miserably. Herein the attention must draw to the fact that the invention itself, the possibility of misuse embedded with the computer has taken various shapes, and some of the such activities that are criminal in nature are recognized as cyber crimes. This kind of crime has become a major area of concern across all the countries in the world, especially India. This is because of the government active drive to achieve digital emancipation in the country where digital unawareness and low literacy are known to exist. This contrast between the state aims and present circumstances is directly creating opportunities for cyber criminals. In light of the aforementioned significance, this article deals with the punishment available in the Indian Penal Code 1860 for various cyber crimes. Meaning and history of cyber crimes. The term cybercrime was used for the first time in the 1995 by Sussman and Heston, who were renowned legal scholars. The term cybercrimes was seen as a collection of conduct and act rather than a single notion. These conduct usually involve manipulation or infiltration into data or computer systems, which amounts to illegal activities. It is also familiar as e-crime, technology crime, information related, etc. As the manipulation of computer usually happens through computer network, that is internet, the term cybercrime has evolved from cyberspace, which denotes the internet. But cyberspace is not the only platform for the commission of cybercrime, but they have even been committed offline, that is software attack, etc. The strange element of the cybercrime when compared to the general crime is that the perceptor and the victim might never have direct contact with each other. The victim for cybercrime might be chosen by the perpetrator by considering certain factors like digital vulnerability, illiteracy, personal agenda, etc. A cybercrime would affect the physical or economic sovereignty, data privacy, social relation, etc. of the individual. For achieving these purposes, the cyber attacker usually choose countries in which the laws and technologies are not developed to an extent that provide mechanisms to catch and punish the perpetrator. As far as the India is concerned, the IT Act 2000 extensively deals with the numerous cyber crimes and their punishments. Along with these, the IPC 1860 also contains certain provisions which concern themselves with a number of cyber crimes. Cyber crimes with IPC implementation. Apart from punishments in IT Act 2000, there are certain crimes that are attracted by IPC provisions as well. The following is the enumeration of the IPC provisions along with the various cyber crimes that are attracted by respective sections and the punishment for the same. Section 292 of the IPC, although this section was drafted to deal with the sale and obscene, it has evolved in the current digital era to concern with various cyber crimes, the publication and transmission of obscene material or sexually explicit act or exploit acts containing children, etc., which are in electronic form, are also governed by this section. So the crime mentioned above seems to be alike. They are recognized as different crimes by the IT Act and IPC. These punishment imposed upon the commission of such act is imprisonment and fine up to 2 years and 2,000 rupees. If any of the aforementioned crime are committed for the second time, the imprisonment could be up to 5 years and the fine could be imposed up to 5,000. Section 354C of IPC. The cybercrime deals under this provision is capturing the image of private part of or act of any woman without such consent. This section exclusively deals with the crime of voyeurism, which also recognize watching actions such as women as a crime. If the essential of the section such as gender are not satisfied, section 292 of the IPC and section 66E of the IT Act 2000 is broad enough to take the offences of a similar kind into consideration. The punishment includes 1 to 3 years of the imprisonment for first time offenders and 3 to 7 years for second time offender. Section 354D of the IPC. This section describes and punishes stalking, includes both physical and cyber stalking. If the woman is being monitored through electronic communication, internet or email, or is being bothered by a person to interact or contact despite her disinterest, it is means to cyber stalking. The later part of the section states that the punishment for this offense is imprisonment extending up to 3 years for the first time and 5 years for the second time, along with the fine imposed in both the instances. Section 379 of the IPC. If the mobile phone, the data from the mobile or the computer hardware is stolen, Section 379 comes into the picture, and the punishment for such crime can go up to 3 years of imprisonment or fine or both. But the attention must be given to the fact that these provisions cannot be applied in case of special law, that is IT Act 2000 provisions are attracted. Section 419 and Section 420 of the IPC. These are related provisions as they deal with fraud. The crime of the password theft for the purpose of meaning fraudulent objective or the creation of bogus website and the commission of crime frauds are certain crimes that are extensively dealt with by these two sections. On the other hand, email phishing by assuming someone's identity demanding password is exclusively concerned with section 419 of the IPC. The punishment under these provisions are different based on the gravity of the committed crime. Section 419 carries the punishment up to 3 years of the imprisonment or fine, and Section 420 carries up to 7 years of imprisonment or fine. Section 465 of IPC. In the unusual scenario, the punishment for forgery is dealt with In this provision in cyberspace, the offenses like email spoofing and preparation of false document are dealt with and punishment under this section, which imbibes the imprisonment reaching up to 2 years or fine or both. Section 468 of the IPC. If the offenses of the email spoofing or the online forgery are committed for the purpose of committing other serious offenses, that is cheating. Section 468 comes into the picture, which contains the punishment of 7 years of imprisonment or fine or both. Section 469 of IPC, if the forgery is committed by anyone solely for the purpose of disreputating a particular person or known, that is, such forgery harms the reputation of the person either in the form of physical document or through online, he or she can be imposed with the imprisonment of 3 years as well as fine. Section 500 of IPC. This provision penalizes the defamation of any person with respect to cyber crimes, sending any kind of defamatory content or abusive messages through email will be attracted by Section 500 of IPC. The imprisonment carry with the section extend up to 2 years along with fine. Section 504 of IPC. If anyone threatens, insults, or tries to provoke another person with the intention of affecting peace through email or any other electronic form, it amounts to an offense under Section 504 of IPC. The punishment for this offense extend up to 2 years for the imprisonment or fine or both. Section 506 of IPC. If the person tries to criminally intimidate other person either physically or through electronic means with respect to the life of a person, property, destruction, through fire or chastity of the woman, it will amount to an offense under Section 506 of IPC and punishment and imprisonment where the maximum period extend up to the 7 years or fine or both. Section 509 of IPC. This section deals with the offense of uttering a word, showing a gesture, and committing an act that has potential to harm the modesty of women. It also includes the sound made and the act committed infringing the privacy of women. If this offense is committed either physically or through electronic modes, Section 509 get attracted and the punishment would be imprisonment for a maximum period of 1 year or fine or both. Landmark case of cybercrime, Shreya Singhal versus Union of India. Background facts. The two women were arrested under Section 66 of the IT Act, alleged to have posted objectionable comment on the Facebook regarding the complete shutdown of Mumbai after the demise of a political leader. Section 66A of the IT Act states that the woman, whoever by using a computer resource or communication provides information that is offensive, false, or cause inconvenience, danger, annoyance, insults, heart rate, injury, or ill will, be punished with imprisonment. The woman filed a petition challenging the constitutionality of the Section 66A of the IT Act on the grounds that it's violative of the freedom of speech and expression issues. The validity of Section 66A of the IT Act was challenged before Supreme Court decision. While pronouncing the decision, the court discussed three concepts and they were discussion, advocacy, and incitement. The court was of the view that mere discussion or even advocacy of the cause, irrespective of how unpopular the same is, at the heart of the freedom of the speech and expression. The court held that Section 66A is ambiguous and is violative of the right to freedom of speech, and it takes within its range the speech that is innocent as well. It removed as arbitrary provision from IT Act 2000 and upheld citizen fundamental right to free speech in India. It was of the view that even through Section 66A struck down provision in the Indian Penal Code, 1860 will continue to the applicable prohibiting racist speech, any speech that outrages the modesty of women, and speech aiming at promoting anonymity, abusive language, criminal intimidation, racism, etc. Conclusion: as we already know that the IT Act 2000 has an overriding effect over the IPC provisions while governing the cyber crimes, there are lot of instances where IPC provisions are applied based on a subjective circumstances of each case. Through some people feel that the IPC should not have a realm to govern cybercrime. There are numerous cybercrimes that are not extensively dealt by an IT Act 2000. Hence, after the due amendments are made to the IT Act, which contains with the respect to every cybercrime, then the IPC can be withdrawn from governing in the domain of cybercrimes. Thank you for watching this video.